My name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani. Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 486. The very last problem, the very last page in the section, page 486, and today is our lesson number 30. Question number 15 is what we're going to do. Both question number 15 and 16, obviously these are the last two questions in the section, and since the questions are arranged in order of difficulty, as I always remind you, therefore 15 and 16 are hard questions. These are both level 5 questions. Let's take a look at it. In question number 15 it says the graph above shows the distribution of Tom's $240 trip expense. Alright. So we have a total of $240, which is represented with a pie chart. The amount Tom paid for the hotel room was only part of the total hotel room cost, because he shared the cost of the room equally with 3 other people. Alright, he shared the cost. We shared the cost of the room. Now, simply saying that he shared the cost with the room with 3 other people is not enough for me. We have to know if he shared the cost equally. He shared the cost of the room equally with 3 other people. He shared the cost of the room equally with 3 others. If they do not use the word equally, then if the hotel room was $300 and he shared that with 3 other people, for all I know, the 3 other people paid penny each, and this guy ends up forking $297.97. We have to know that he shared it equally. What is the question asking? What was the total cost of the hotel room? Alright, so a hotel room, as we can see from the picture, is 20%. This is the cost of the hotel. 20%. So 20%, let's find 20% of 240. 20% of 240. 20% of 240, 20% is same as 1/5. So we're looking for 1/5 of simply means time 240. We're looking for 1/5 of 240. So 240 divided by a fifth. 240 divided by a fifth. How many divided by a 5 rather? 240 divided by 5. How many 5s in a 2? 2 doesn't have any 5. So 2 goes and joins 4. It becomes 24. How many 5s in a 24? 24 has 4 5s. The remaining 4 goes and joins the 0 and becomes 40. 40 divided by 5 is 8. In other words, 240 divided by 5 is 48. This is the way I take the exam. I am old school. Do not reach for the calculator. Save the battery in the calculator for the rainy day, as I always say. Okay? So it's $48. That's his share. $48 is his share. And we are told that he shared with 3 other people. Well, if he shared with 3 other people and $48 is his share, total cost must be $48 times 4. Because there are 4 people in the room. Himself and 3 other. So that's your answer. Well, we know 50 times 4. If you ask me, if you come up to me and wake me up in the middle of my night, in the middle of my sleep, and ask me what is 48 times 4, I'm going to swear at you. How the hell do I know? If you ask me what's 50 times 4, I'll give you an answer in my sleep. It's 200. It's very simple. So 50 times 4 is 200. Therefore, 48 times 4 must be 8 less than that, because there are 4 2's we have to take out. 8 less than 200 is 192. There you go. That's your answer. 192, whatever that is. Answer choice D. That's it. That's the answer. We are done with that one. Let's go to the next one. Number 16. Number 16. Number 16 is a tricky one. In my opinion, 15 did not deserve to be level 5, but that's what they call it, so who am I to argue? Number 16 on the other end is a level 5 question. It's a tricky one. It's not a difficult one, but it's a tricky one. It says, on a square game board that is divided into n rows and n rows of n squares each. Now, did you understand that part? We have n rows and each row contains n squares. So how can you draw a square? Can you draw a square such as that one? Can you draw me a square like that? Let's give an n a value. Let's pretend n is equal to 5. Let's pretend n is equal to 5. So I need 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are 5 rows. And each row, we are told, contains 5 squares. That's their way of saying, that's their bloody awkward way of saying that it is the square contains equal number of rows and columns. Instead of simply telling you that it contains equal number of rows and columns, these people like to be cute. They like to be cute. So this is how they tell you. They do not tell you that the square contains the same number of rows and columns. They tell you that it is divided up into n rows, n is equal to 5 in our case. Make up a number so that it's easy to analyze it. It contains 5, I'm going to read the question now. On a square game board that is divided into 5 rows of 5 squares each. There you go, 5 squares each. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Each of them is 5 squares. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is 5 by 5. It's a 5 by 5 square. 5 by 5 square. What is the question asking? Let me restart from again. On a square game board that is divided, sometimes it's difficult to figure out where you left off and find a place to pick up from there. It's much easier just to start from the beginning. On a square game board that is divided into n rows of n squares each, k of this square lie along the boundary of the game board. Alright, k of these lie along the boundary of the game board. Let's locate them, shall we? How many of them are located along the boundary? Well, these 5 are. These 5s are. They are located along the boundary. So are these 5s. And so are these 5. Now if I had any brain at all, I would have drawn this thing in a different color to begin with. Because we want to, oh boy, a word comes to my mind right now. Because we want to accentuate them, we want to emphasize them, we want to highlight them. We'll learn this word in a second, okay? Let's keep it in abeyance. Let's put it aside. Abeyance means to put something aside. We learned that on day number 9 in our vocabulary lesson. Let's keep it in abeyance. Accentuate. We'll come to that in a second. Another word comes to my mind right now. I'm not going to put it right now, but hopefully I'll remember it. Let's put it aside. So let's do this here. So if I had any brain, I would have drawn them I would have shown them in a different color to begin with, but I'm going to do it now. Here are the 5 rows along the boundaries, 5 squares. Here are 5 more, and there are 5 more here, and there are 5 more here. There are 20 of them. There are 20 of them. 20 squares lie along the boundary. Now how do I represent 20? Well, n is equal to 5. N is equal to 5, so it's just n times 4. 4n. That's the 20. But, there's a but part. But, what happens? What's going on here? As you can clearly see, these 4 in the 4 corners, are double counted. We're counting them twice. First we count this box when we go along the row, then we count in the first row, and then we count the same box when we go along the first column. We're double counting these four edges. We have to subtract that 4. So there you go. Minus 4. Now we can see that there are 16 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 here, 3 there, 3 here, 3 here. That's 6. 5 here, 5 there. As you can see, 16, which is represented by 20 minus 4. So that's going to turn out to be 4n minus 4. There you go. That's how you represent the number of boxes that lie along the boundary. Let me read one more time as they phrase it. K of these square lie along the boundary of the game board. They're calling this quantity K. And the question simply is, which of the following could be the value of K? They're giving you 5 answer choices. 4 of them are impossible. 4 of them cannot be the value of K. There is only one that is possible. Our job is to locate that guy. Shall we? Stay with me, okay? Let's see what happens. So this is the expression for K. K equals 4n minus 4. Now, 4n minus 4, think of 4 as P. Have we used P or Q in this problem at all, anywhere? I don't want to use the same symbol. No. Think of 4 as P, and let's not make it complicated. A times B minus B can be written as B times A minus 1. I hope you know that. I hope you know that, obviously, because as you open the parentheses, B times A is going to give you AB, and B times 1, negative 1, is going to give you a negative B minus. In other words, we are taking the B common from these factors. Do you find anything common between these two quantities, 4n and 4? In 4n and 4, the quantity that is the factor that is common, the common factor is 4. Obviously, we're going to take it out common. Watch what happens, okay? Just be patient. If you take out the 4 common, you're left with n minus 1 equals k. What does this tell us? Does it tell you anything? It should tell you something very profound about k. What this tells us is that k, the quantity k, equals this quantity. So what this tells us, what this implies is that k, whatever the hell it is, it must be some multiple of 4. K equals 4 times some number. K must be some multiple of 4. Now go to the answer choices. Find me one answer choice that is a multiple of 4. The other 4 answer choices you will see are not multiple of 4. If you try to divide the other 4 answer choices by 4, they will not be evenly divisible. Let's do them here. Let's finish it up here. Answer choice A says 10. Of course, 10 cannot be divided by 4. You can't divide 10 evenly into 4. B says 25. You see how simple it becomes? B is not divisible by 4. C says 34. 32 would have been divisible by 4, but 34 ain't. Yes, that's a vocab word, ain't. I just learned it. So I want to flaunt it. Show off my vocabulary. 42 is not divisible by 4 either. Let's look at the last one, 52. Let's look at 52. Is 52 divisible by 4? Let's find out. This better be, otherwise we are in trouble. How many 4s in a 5? 5 has 1 4. 5 has 1 4. The remaining one goes and joins the 2, becomes 12. How many 4s in a 12? 12 has 3 4s. Voila. The answer is E. There is only one answer choice among the 5 that will be divisible by 4, and that's the value of k, because k, as we just found out through this analysis, must be multiple of 4. Do you understand? That's all. That's it, we're done. This was an interesting question. I liked it. There are some questions that are just too simple, and anything that makes you think a little bit is fun, because look at it that way. Have a positive attitude about it. Don't look at it as some chore or something that you must do. Try to enjoy it. Math is not boring as the impression goes in most American schools. It's not boring. It's fun. It makes you think. It makes your brain get going. I'm not going to break into a long sermon right now, but that's it. I'm going to stop here. The basis of the entire modern civilization is mathematics. All the engineering is math. You must have a positive attitude about it. It's a very powerful discipline. Learn it, enjoy it. Learn algebra. And if you want to learn algebra the proper way, I'm not suggesting that the all others are improper, but in my opinion, if you want to learn the algebra from the very basic foundation, go to my channel, and over there you will find 200 videos dealing with algebra. Day number 1 through 200. In the first 100 day, we learn elementary concept of algebra, and then day number 101 through 200, we do some algebra word problem. And if you're one of those people who is very weak in algebra, start from the very basic foundation from day 1. Make sure you do every single video with me, And you will see that by the time you reach day 200, you will lose all your fear of algebra. And something like this will no longer be a challenge, because you will begin to think systematically, logically, rationally, which is what algebra teaches you. Do you understand? I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye. Bye now.